Hey guys, welcome back to Books Gossip. I am Mansi again back with a new book review. And this time the book I am reviewing is by one of my favorite authors, that is Agatha Christie. This particular book has been adapted as a movie too in 1974, 2001 and 2017. I have watched the 2017 one because उसके reviews in comparison to the other two मैंने ज़्यादा better सुने थे. Well, today I am not going to actually review the book, but I am going to compare the book with its movie. This particular book is of Poirot series, and I have also reviewed the first book in the Poirot series by Agatha Christie, that is Mysterious Affairs and Styles, and I think you guys should definitely watch it. The link for the same is in the description below. And before we begin, I would mention this that recently in the third episode of Gossipy Mondays, I have done a 24-hour reading marathon, and it's great. I enjoyed doing it, and if you haven't watched it, so the link for the same is also in the description. You should definitely check it out. The one I am talking about over here is Murder on the Orient Express, and it's a Hercule Poirot story, as I mentioned before, and since it's Agatha Christie, then it's obviously murder, mystery and fiction genre. Well, this is how the book looks, and the book is of 347 pages. This particular book was published in 1934. Like any other Agatha Christie murder mystery, a passenger is murdered on the train. Just after midnight, Orient Express was stuck due to a snowdrift, and a passenger, Simon Ratchet, was stabbed a dozen times. The most important part was his door was locked from inside. That means someone on the train murdered him, and the killer is still on the train with the fellow passengers. The dead person, that is Simon Ratchet, is a multimillionaire and had multiple enemies. He was also receiving threat letters from some time. Now, the famous detective Hercule Poirot was on the Orient Express when this whole thing took place, and from here he is going to begin his investigation. Well, the whole book is divided into three parts. The part 1 over here you could see is facts, part 2 is the evidence, and then finally there is part 3 where Hercule Poirot sits back and think about the situation. At the end, he will suggest two solutions, one incorrect and one correct, and finally the book concludes. I completed reading this book some time back, and recently I watched the movie too, and I couldn't help but notice certain differences between the movie and the book. The first thing I noticed was, in the book, the passengers were stuck inside the train, whereas in the movie it is shown that they could also get out of the train sometime. The second thing which caught my eye was the action scenes in the movie performed by Hercule Poirot, because in the book there are no such scenes, but in the movie you could actually see Hercule Poirot chasing and hitting people. Next in the line is how differently certain characters were shown in the movie in comparison to the book. Their names, roles and appearances were quite different than what I read in the book. Then in the movie there is a starting scene in which Poirot is shown solving another case, but in the book Murder on the Orient Express there is no such case. In fact, the case Poirot solved in the movie is in no Agatha Christie novel. The last two differences which I noticed were, first, that in the movie there was the mention of another Agatha Christie classic novel, Death on the Nile, whereas in the book there is no such mention. And lastly, what I noticed, the difference between the movie and the book, is in the book Poirot, when suggests two different solutions, he asks Mr. Bogue, who's the owner of who's the manager and owner of the Orient Express, to choose which solution he wants to present to the police, whereas in the movie Poirot himself makes that choice. Well, these were all the differences that I noticed between the movie and the book. If there are any other differences which I missed out and you know about them, then mention in the comment section below. I would definitely want to know them. And personally, I think that the book is much better than the movie, and it's a great story. You should definitely read it out. But if you are someone who cannot read a whole book, then go for the movie. You won't be disappointed. I would rate this book 4.5 out of 5, and I am looking forward to read more of Agatha Christie's work. Alright guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this comparison and it was helpful. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Books Gossip. Press the bell icon so that you won't miss any of my videos. You could follow me on Instagram. My Instagram username is right here on the screen. I post many book aesthetics and fun reels over there. You would definitely enjoy them. And lastly, don't forget I come up with new videos on every Mondays. Until then, keep reading. Bye.